You open your eyes, the ceiling is stained, the sheets smell like cigarettes and cheap detergent. You're in a motel room, the kind with a TV bolted to the wall and a lock that barely holds. Outside, something is wrong. You can hear it before you see it. Helicopter blades cutting through the morning air, red and blue lights flickering beneath the curtain. You grab the remote. The TV flickers on, and then you see your own face, your name, your photo, broadcast across every channel. America's Most Wanted. You stare at the screen for a full 5 seconds, and then the single most terrifying thought hits you. Not the sirens, not your face on national television, not the police closing in outside. The terrifying thought is this. You don't remember why. You look down at your sleeve. There's dried blood on the cuff. Not a cut, not a scratch, just blood. And you don't know whose it is. Your head is pounding. Not a headache. Something deeper, like something was removed from behind your eyes. The phone on the nightstand rings. You shouldn't answer it, but you do. A voice, calm, distorted, impossible to place, says 4 words. Leave now. Back exit. Then silence. Through the thin motel wall you can hear boots on gravel, radio chatter, someone calling out your description. You don't think. You move. Out the bathroom window, down the fire escape, across a chain-link fence into a back alley. The helicopter passes directly overhead. You press yourself against the wall and hold your breath. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you did. But every instinct you have is screaming the same thing. Keep moving. The city is the worst possible place to hide when your face is on every screen. Every bus stop has a digital billboard. Every storefront TV. Every phone in every hand, showing your photo, your name, the word dangerous stamped beneath it like a brand. You pull your hood up. Keep your head down. Walk like someone who has somewhere to be. But people notice. Of course they do, because deep down, everyone recognizes the face they've been told to fear. You slip into a corner store. You need water. You need a moment to think. The cashier glances at you, then at the TV mounted in the corner, then back at you. Her hand drifts toward the phone beneath the counter. You don't run. Running confirms guilt. You put the water bottle down slowly, nod at her like nothing is wrong, and walk calmly out the door. You turn the corner. Then you run. Your lungs burn. Your mind is scrambling, trying to pull up any memory, any context, any fragment of how you got here. But there's nothing. Just static, like a hard drive that's been wiped clean. You are being hunted, and you don't even know what crime they're hunting you for. A hand grabs your arm and yanks you into a narrow alley between 2 buildings. Your first instinct is to fight, but the grip is firm and deliberate, not aggressive. She steps in front of you, late 30s, dark jacket, eyes that have been watching you for longer than you realize. Stop running, she says. They're tracking your pattern, not just your face. You stare at her. Who are you? She ignores the question. You didn't do what they're saying. That sentence lands like a stone in still water. Then what did I do? She looks at you for a long moment, like she's deciding something, like this answer changes everything. You found something, and someone very powerful needed you to forget it. You want to trust her. You also want to run from her, because the worst part of having no memory is that you can't tell friend from enemy. Everyone is a stranger, including yourself. But she's already moving, and for now, following her is the only plan you have. She takes you underground, literally, through a service corridor beneath an old transit station, down 2 flights of stairs, into a room that looks like it hasn't been used officially in 20 years. But someone has been using it. The walls are covered. Newspaper clippings, printed articles, surveillance photos, some of them of you, taken from a distance weeks or months ago. Timelines, charts, red string connecting names to agencies to events. She pulls up footage on a cracked laptop screen. The news report about you, the one calling you the most wanted man in America, plays in split screen next to the original unedited source footage. They don't match. What you can see is clear. The news version has been cut, edited, stitched together to show a version of events that didn't happen the way they're claiming. And then something strange happens. A fragment, not a full memory, more like the edge of one. A hallway, a badge, a conversation you weren't supposed to hear. You press your fingers to your temple. It's coming back in pieces, you say. She nods. That's by design. She slides a folder across the table. The cover reads, Behavioral Influence Initiative. Classification level, Omega. Internal use only. You open it. What you're reading shouldn't exist. A covert government program, not designed to stop terrorism, not designed to protect national security in any conventional sense. Designed to manage public behavior, to identify moments of mass uncertainty, economic collapse, political scandal, social unrest, and quietly steer public perception before it could organize into resistance. Fake narratives planted in media, real people framed as threats, anger redirected, fear manufactured, and somewhere in that folder, buried between bureaucratic language and redacted names, is your involvement. You weren't a criminal. You were an analyst. You worked inside the system, buried deep enough to see the machinery, close enough to understand what it was actually doing, and then you tried to tell someone. They didn't fire you, she says. They couldn't risk what you knew walking out the door talking, so they did something worse. She looks at you directly. They made you into a monster. They handed you to the public before you could hand the truth to anyone else. The memories come back like water finding cracks in a wall, not all at once, in fragments that hurt, a server room, late at night, your hands on a keyboard, copying files you weren't authorized to copy, because what you'd found was bigger than authorization, a phone call with someone you trusted, a meeting that felt wrong the moment it started, men in suits whose IDs didn't match their behavior, and then nothing, a gap, a dark space where the most important moment should be. You weren't a criminal. You were a person who worked inside the machine, saw what the machine was truly doing, and tried to pull the emergency brake. And they didn't stop the machine. They stopped you. They turned you into the enemy. And they did it so efficiently, so thoroughly, that every camera in the country is now pointed at your face. And not a single person watching those cameras is asking why. The betrayal doesn't feel like shock. It feels like confirmation of something you almost remembered all along. You hid something before they took you, she says, before your memory was cleared. Another fragment breaks loose. A train station, fluorescent lights, a row of lockers. Your hands shaking as you push something into the slot and turn the key. The evidence, a hard drive. Everything you'd copied, compressed, encrypted. Why am I still alive, you ask? She doesn't hesitate. Because they need it. They know you hid it before they erased you, and they don't know where. You're more useful to them breathing and searchable than dead and untraceable, which means the drive is still there. And if you can reach it before they reach you, you don't just survive. You change everything. The train station is packed. Thousands of people, faces down in their phones, earbuds in, living in the narrow corridor of their own attention. Your face is on 12 screens before you reach the main hall. You keep moving. Platform 3, Concourse B, lockers near the east wall, number 47. Your fingers remember the combination before your mind does. The lock clicks open. The drive is there. And then the shouting starts. Don't move. Hands where I can see them. Chaos. Passengers scatter. A child cries. You're surrounded. Uniformed officers, plainclothes agents, everyone converging at once. For a moment, you think about running. And then you think about what running has cost you so far. You stop, not because you're giving up, because you finally understood something. They built a story about you, and as long as you keep running, you keep living inside it. Every chase, every escape, every headline, it all confirms the monster they invented. The only way to destroy a false story is to replace it with the true one, publicly, immediately, before they can spin another frame. You hold up the drive, not to the officers, to the cameras, the phones, the witnesses surrounding you on every side. Everything is on here, you say. The program, the names, what they did, and why. I'm not running anymore. Within hours, the drive's contents are leaking. Not through one outlet, through hundreds. Screenshots, clips, documents spreading faster than any suppression order can chase them. The headlines shift, slowly at first, then all at once. Your face disappears from the news. Not because they forgave you, not because justice arrived in any clean, dramatic form, but because the story changed and there was nothing left to hunt. Somewhere quiet, in a place no one thinks to look, you watch the world process what you gave it, uncertain what comes next, knowing only that the truth is out, and that is enough. Here is what this story is really about. The most dangerous person in any controlled system is not a criminal. It is someone who understands how the system actually works and is willing to say so. Anyone can be turned into a villain. It takes only a narrative, a platform, and a public too busy to ask questions. The scariest thing about this story isn't the conspiracy. It's how easy the conspiracy was to believe. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and always ask, who benefits from you being afraid of that person?